Hello, Lynx Nation, and welcome to tonight's home football game for our Abraham Lincoln Lynx. I'm Emmarie Taylor, and I'm your school photographer. And tonight, I'm going to take you along with me through this amazing journey. Tonight, you will get a brief snapshot into what I do as a school photographer when I talk to you about the amazing benefits of photography. Then next, we're going to move on and tackle how we set up our camera. And as the game comes to an end, I'm going to show you all the tips and tricks you need to know to understand the settings and buttons on the camera. Let's get into it. Photography is a skill that can seem very overwhelming at first, but once you get to know it, it can be super amazing and beneficial and just fun and all in all. There's so many different benefits to photography, but according to Mississippi State University, some of the most prominent ones are documenting life, finding the beauty in life, and preserving memories. Most of you right now are just like how I was when I first started photography, not very interested. In fact, when I started photography, I just needed an extra class to fill my schedule, and that was when a friend I had suggested photography. Now, after that, I took a camera to one of our home track meets, and then I was asked to go to a soccer game. Then I was at every soccer game, and next thing I know, I'm at all the sporting events being the school photographer. And I wouldn't have it any other way. Photography is something that is very important to me, and I hope that after this presentation, you all can find another hobby by stepping outside of your comfort zone and finding something you love. Now that I'm done talking about that, let's start to tackle how we set up our camera. The camera that I'm using today is a Canon EOS R17. And the first thing I'm going to do while setting up my camera is flipping it over and opening this hatch right here. This is so I can check that my battery is in my camera and my SD card. This is important because I don't want my camera to die and I don't want to lose all my pictures. Now, as I move forward in setting up my camera, I'm going to put on the lens. When putting on the lens, I'm going to find this little white dot right here and line it up with the same white dot on my camera. Then I'm going to press in this button right here while pushing the lens in and twisting it to the left. Now that the camera is all set up and ready to go, let's talk about how we need to hold our camera. First, you need to take this strap right here and wrap it around your neck. This is to prevent any casualties in case you drop your camera. Next, you're going to take your non-dominant hand, which for me is my left, and put it right here underneath the lens to support your camera. Now, take your dominant hand, put it right here, take your thumb, rest it in this little area right here, and then have your camera resting on this button so you can either focus or snap a shot. Now that our camera is all set up and ready to go, let's move into all the tips and tricks you need to know to get your camera to take some good pictures. The first and most important button I'm going to teach you about is the power switch. Right here on the top of your camera, there's a little switch that says on and off. Flip the camera into the on mode so you can capture all these amazing pictures. Next, I'm going to teach you about something that us photographers call the exposure triangle, which is tips to help you get a good picture. The first part of the exposure triangle is your shutter speed, which controls how quickly you take a picture and how many pictures you take per second. The shutter speed is right here on your camera, and my favorite setting is to keep it at 1,000 pictures per second. Next, you're going to talk about your aperture, which controls the depth of field in your pictures, aka how blurry or non-blurry the back of your picture is, or front of your picture is. Now, the next part of the camera is your ISO speed, which controls how much noise, or what you guys might call grain, is in the picture, which by controlling how much light gets in when taking a picture. As the final seconds are clicking down on the clock, it looks like we are sadly going to face another Lynx loss tonight. But that doesn't matter for me and you because of all the amazing pictures we got. Tonight, as we sat through this game, we learned about the amazing benefits that photography has. Then we tackled how we set up and hold our camera. And lastly, as the game came to an end, we finally learned all these tips and tricks that you can use when trying to understand the different buttons and setting in your camera. Thank you and have a good night.